I'm having a thought about Taylor Swift's song Would've, Could've, Should've. And this is so off the cuff. I literally was just watching like a reaction video to it and hearing it in a different way for the first time. Also, disclaimer, I'm kind of a person who hates the idea that Taylor Swift's songs are written only about specific men. Or even the idea that one song couldn't have situations from multiple experiences, multiple situations. And yes, of course, there's some songs inspired by specific people, specific events, and that's like all that they're inspired by insularly. But I think in general, songwriting is just more complicated than that. So while I understand that people attribute the song Would've, Could've, Should've to different men, including mostly John Mayer, I also think that this song could apply in general to Taylor Swift's fame. And you might be like, oh, but there's that line that's like, I was 19, which she obviously became famous way before the point that she was 19. But let's think about what else happened when she was 19, which is the Kanye West of it all. And you know, as much as it was a messed up thing for Kanye to include Taylor Swift in that song about, you know, I made her famous or whatever, there is truth to the fact that that situation changed Taylor Swift and changed the public perception of Taylor Swift. And this idea that, like, if that hadn't happened to her, she wouldn't have been propelled in a certain way. And also this idea that before that, she very much occupied a space of being, like when she says, I would have stayed on my knees, right? I would have stayed, like, in my mind, it's kind of like, I would have stayed naive. I would have stayed, and it means that in the song, whether you think it's about a man or not. But, like, it could also be applied to this idea of the way that people saw me, which was as a very naive girl. She was also, I think, decently religious back in the day, and maybe even still is, not sure. But yeah, also thinking of the line, like the line that's always stuck with me in that whole thing is the fact that she talks about how the pain was heaven, right? And again, that can definitely be interpreted as, you know, somebody is exposing you to things that you didn't know about before, and as it is painful, it is also exciting, and all of those things. I get that interpretation. But I do think it could also be talking about the fact that, like, fame is amazing, and it's what she has been praying for and what she has been wanting for so long, but it's also, it's heaven in a way. It's what she's been praying for, it's what she's been desiring. But it is also insanely painful, and maybe if she had known about that before, she wouldn't have chosen the things that she chose, you know? And I'm not saying that this is like absolute truth. I think in general, obviously art is subjective, and I feel like I have to say that because I just know Taylor Swift fans. I'm a Taylor Swift fan, but I know how y'all are on the internet. And whatever your interpretation of it is valid, art interpretation is up to the individual. But I just